Cotman, Crawford, and the Jersey Guy podcast.
Hey everybody, Kenny Cotman.
Lewis Crawford.
And I'm Tom Ramage, the Jersey Guy.
Yo, what is going on, my people?
What's going on?
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
So, I want to give a shout out. It is National Mental Health Awareness Month. So everybody, go make sure everybody's good. Make sure you take care of yourself. Your checks.
It's important.
Gotta stay healthy.
Yeah.
Gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, healthy isn't just about physical health. It's also about your mind.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, Mental Health Awareness Month, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. So tonight's show is about
Recycling.
Boring,
Boring, right?
Depends on how you look at it.
Reuse, recycle.
No. I thought it would be a good one because we've been doing it for what? A long time, right?
What, recycling or the show?
Just recycling.
Yeah. No, I mean, when they started recycling in the 70s, 60s,
I remember when it
right?
started.
Was
I
it
remember
60s?
when it started, yeah.
70s?
No,
60s?
70s.
70s?
No. Maybe late 70s, 80s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember not.
It was
I remember
different.
like when recycling was like a new. I actually remember as a kid, like we're now recycling things. We're like when we had to separate the bottles and stuff. That was like. I remember
it was
that
different,
being a new
right? You
thing.
had to separate everything.
And that was 80s.
It had to be
I was,
clean.
I was born in 81, so I remember.
Now it doesn't even matter. You can just throw it all together, and then it just goes through something. I'm sure it separates it and kicks it out to where it needs to go.
Yeah, it does, because I think it sifts. As like some of the stuff goes through, it's shredded, and it sifts the heavier stuff. That's why a lot of the companies now have switched to the clear. I couldn't think of clear for. I had a brain fart. The clear bottles, because it's harder to recycle the colored ones.
Yeah,
like the greens and some of the soda bottles and such. They stopped using those, and but again, it's to recycle it into everything.
Yeah.
Do you know? I saw a reel where they were taking the plastic bottles and making thread out of the plastic bottles to make clothes.
Oh yeah, they can do so much.
I was like, "What?
It's crazy."
Yeah. What? Well, I actually have there's a company I buy from. I'll give them I'll give them a free shout out. It's a Noise. They're a company. They're like a very vegan friendly company, and they use the recycled bottles collected from the ocean, and they turn it into insulation for jackets. And it's like it's like negative 40 below. You know, it's a good jacket. That's the one I usually wear. I mean, I'm not wearing it now.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah, it's a noise jacket, real good. So they use that, because that's the thing. Not everything is recyclable to be used for the same thing again.
Right?
Like, you know, like sometimes like bottles, they have to, you know, turn into that, or they can turn them into like pens and stuff like that. But you can't, I don't think they can turn like water bottles back into.
No, they can't. Right. They can't do that.
No, I don't think they can. No.
They can't.
Some plastic is recyclable for like I hear like that softer plastic, like that you'll have in like detergent bottles. Like, that can be recycled back into detergent bottles, but most can't.
Right. So then that's why now we really, really got to pay attention. Dude, the weather's been changing so crazy. You know, climate change is insane.
Yeah,
so, you know, I know it sounds crazy and sounds a little bit off, but we have to start somewhere. You know, at least with the recycling, that, you know, we can use all these things, nothing burning. The oceans, what you say the name of the...
the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Amazing. Isn't it? Beautiful.
It's like, beautiful.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking every time you see that freaking thing, man.
Yeah. You know, all the animals that are getting caught up in it, you know, they get, come ashore.
That's from us.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, it was...
And that would be there in nature, but it would be like wood. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's just the way things float in the ocean, and they kind of,
and that's kind of where they meet.
But it's like all garbage.
Right.
But if there was a world lack of humans, it would just be like logs.
Right.
The way it was when the dinosaurs were here before the humans came.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those guys had a long reign too.
Yeah. And I forgot what the reasoning was for people, for them not being able to go in there to get it. Like, you know, should be able to go in there and start with that stuff and recycle it out of that.
They do. I mean, there is companies that are taking it, but I feel like it's probably it's being added faster than it's being taken out.
Yeah.
That's I think the problem. And they say the crazy part is that I remember them doing an experiment where they took like a water bottle and they just like threw it out to their curb, and it like eventually ended in the ocean, in the fucking garbage patch.
Yeah.
Just from like going into the streams and to like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
like, because when stuff goes in the gutter, right, that's just a system to go back into storm drains I don't think the water gets recycled on them. It's just storm drains. They go into rivers. It's just to divert the water. So like they go back in the rivers and the rivers collect into a bigger river, and then into the ocean.
Yeah.
So just all litter just ends up in the fucking ocean. It's crazy.
It is
unbelievable.
If it doesn't, like, if it's something that can float, which is usually plastic.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
man.
I mean, even think about, salt. In the wintertime, they salt and they brine the roadways. So now when the snow melts and all that other stuff, all that stuff is going down into the sewer and it's going out into the,
into the
streams, ocean, into the streams, and
rivers everywhere.
The salt content has got to be higher than what it should be or what it was. Yeah. And then even with that, now you think about it. So you have the little pieces of plastic that now
the microplastics.
Right. So
big
now,
problem.
so the
God, man.
Well, I'm
Just
talking
stay away
than
from
that.
bottles if you can.
I'm talking about bigger than that because now the fish are eating it.
They're saying in the food now.
Well,
too.
I was just going to say, I was going to go there with the vegan thing. I was like, stay away from eating seafood.
Yeah, right.
They've actually found microfiber in the flesh of the because it's microscopic.
Right.
So it mixes in with the cells and the shit. It's fucked up. It's in the bloodstream.
It's amazing, unbelievable how sad it is, and at the same time how, in some way, incredible how a fish can adapt and be able to still live, even though it was that was part of it.
Yeah. They
you know what I mean?
Faster.
Not that was any better. It was probably way better off not having that at all.
Right.
But
and then you said, so now
unfortunately,
so now we eat it. We're eating the fish, and all those things.
they're saying they're finding it in people's heart valves.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I know. I'm like, what? I see a water bottle. I'm like, I'm not drinking that, man.
Yeah. Well, I've been
they
drinking.
say it's from also like eating like
out of
fish,
plastic.
right? If you eat the fish,
I don't
and
eat
it has
fish.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
eat fish
saying
either,
if-
I don't.
Still.
but like, and because it's just it's fucked up.
Right,
Like,
but it's in everything. You know what I'm saying? It's
even
not,
if I wasn't vegan, knowing what I know,
We grew up with this from the very beginning.
I wouldn't eat anything for any like seafood. Even if I wasn't vegan, I would stay away from seafood.
But
yeah,
that's the shit,
absolutely.
though.
I
It's-
hate seafood, and I'm thankful for that.
Right. But that's the whole thing, though, bro. It's not just in the seafood because it's in the water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's in
But
everything.
the thing is that it could be cleaned up, and that's the thing that kills me. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
know.
they could easily have someone or somebody go out there. There are
Because
people that
there's
do it, though.
because-
I mean, there are organizations that do it.
yeah.
That
I think
go
you meant
out and
clinical
clean
water.
it, and they,
The problem is there's no money to be made. People are driven by greed. You know,
Right.
it's fucked up.
but there are good people out there
Yeah,
too.
there are.
that-
No, there are, but that's
Not
why
as
it's
many,
not,
though.
That's why
Not
there's
as
not.
many.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why there's not as many.
The odds are a little
they're just
against them.
because-
There's more greedy people than
Right, but they're not looking in the right places and
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
right
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They're not doing the right thing to make the money off of it. Because if you turn around, like we just said a little while ago, you can turn around and make clothes make thread and make clothes out of the plastic.
Shoes.
Make shoes, make whatever, a whole bunch of stuff out of the plastics.
That's
and
right.
they're not looking at it like that. They rather just let there be
Because it
destruction.
probably takes a lot of money to make those things. Then you have to recycle. There's probably a whole process that it has to go through, I'm sure, when they make that stuff. Not that it's not knowing that you knew that already when you went in the first place. If you knew that, then that's it. You have to just commit to it and do what you need to do in order to change over. You know what I mean? A lot of companies have, though, vegan-wise, haven't they?
the what?
As far as vegan goes, as far as certain things, like they're using different products other than instead of animals. So are there any that have changed over or anything like that?
Companies?
Yes.
I mean,
Because of the vegan movement and all that?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of the a lot of the designers have stopped using fur,
Right?
And they've switched to some of the companies switched to some of the faux fur or just got rid of in general.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome. Yeah. I it took them long enough, but at least they finally got there, and because of you guys, that stuff.
Well, that's been a long time. That's not something like
And the
just
thing-
in the
no,
last
but
10 years.
still, you know.
And the thing too, if we're talking about like environmental stuff, I know I don't want to get too off topic
Right.
from
No
recycling,
but that's environmental.
But like a lot of things too is like people will say like, oh, you should the synthetic materials are like worse than leather, and it's like actually the tanning and all those chemicals is worse than the polyurethane.
Yeah,
I hear you, bro.
It's everything.
Materials.
It's everything that we do.
Yeah,
I mean, oil is in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, if we all just took that extra 2 minutes to go and recycle it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throw it in that bin.
Right.
I'm not gonna make
that's
believe
the whole
like I
thing,
do it.
though.
I'm not.
Does
I'm
it
lying
really
to you.
get to where it's supposed to go in the first place?
Well, but then that's the other part of it too. So then, if we had things locally to actually recycle, not just going to take it to the bottle depot and you know what I'm saying, and take it in there and then they send it somewhere else to get dumped. So like we actually had something local that could recycle all these bottles and such.
Right.
Dude, it would probably, I think people would be more apt to do it, to take it there to that spot. You know,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, it's nice to get that 5 cents back for it or whatever, but you know, still.
I wonder why like not all states do that. Like they don't do that in Jersey.
Well, this is interesting.
Oh yeah, they don't.
They don't. No, we
What's
just
that?
our
The 5 cent
recycling is
refund.
just on the curb. They don't do. Is that how they don't take recycling on the curb though for New York? Then do they? You have to bring it to.
Well, I know that they used to.
Yeah.
Here,
They
well,
don't
we
do
could they just pick it up from us. We
But
pay.
you're
I mean,
in PA.
you were in PA, so
Right. Yeah, so I don't remember it being like that in New
But
York.
do you have those things
What it was.
like they have in New York where you bring the the bottle and shreds it and then they give you the receipt?
No, I don't think
yeah,
they.
in the
machine,
supermarket. In the
supermarkets.
supermarket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, we have that.
They definitely.
They
have
don't
it.
have that. That's what I'm saying. They don't have that in Jersey.
Oh, really?
I don't think they have that in PA.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think they do, but I could be wrong.
Nah,
Like why don't
All I
all
do is
states
I
have
just
that?
threw
That's
mine
what
in
I
the
mean.
can and
that's
said,
why. That's why I was
"Take it
saying
away."
that all states have recycling.
Thank
That's
you
what I
very
meant
much.
Yeah.
when I said the the thing they have.
So
in the
that then
supermarket.
by your house, so do you put out the separate bin?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said, well, that's what you do here.
Right.
In New York, we could take it and we don't have a separate bin. We have a separate dumpster or different garbage cans to go and dump it in, and we have the
So you do
the
have a
bottle
place.
depot.
It's just not something you.
It's not something that we don't turn around and take the time to go over there and drop it off to wherever that was supposed to be. And then I live in an apartment complex, so everybody just throws the excess garbage into into the recycling dumpster, instead of them using it for that.
Right.
So, again, I don't know. I don't even know anymore if it would be.
I'm thankful
effective
for
for
the.
people to do that.
I think I'm thankful. I look at it this way. I think recycling does work because I think we're lucky where we are right now. If we didn't get those recycling things, laws, things that people changed, requiring the environment and all that, and there's still probably a lot to do. Then think about it. What happens if they didn't do that?
Oh yeah, no.
How much
definitely.
worse it would have been,
Right.
if people didn't push back and they just let them do whatever they want.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's how
No,
it
not
was
at
back
all.
in the day. Because like you said, we would recycle back in the city. So us being from the city,
I did.
you would
Eventually.
right, but we had to separate
Separate
bins,
it. We
like
had to
Tom was
separate.
saying. Yeah, we had to separate it, put the cans and
Paper,
the papers and this
cans,
and all that other
glass,
stuff.
plastic.
The apartments in Brooklyn weren't big enough for us to
Right.
have all the room for
No
all the
kidding.
garbage cans.
I know. I
You
know.
what
it.
I mean? So it was
I
one
used
of
to
those
put that
things.
garbage out, man.
Yeah, and it just sucked. And then it was just a hassle to recycle when I think in bigger cities because the apartments are so small. There's no place in the building ready for you to drop your stuff off.
And
so
people
you
are
gotta
just
have
too
an
lazy
extra
to bring
garbage.
it.
Yeah, so you already had a garbage bin now where
Right.
you fucking put the recycling.
Yeah, and then in the bigger buildings, you had the garbage chute. So, you just walk out into the hallway, open up the
Boom,
chute,
throw it down.
and just throw it down and then go whatever.
recycling in the chute.
Right, exactly. So that then,
everything.
and it wasn't like they were, the
But the only
buildings are
thing,
old
I
as
think,
fuck.
that's if they're old
That's
too.
the problem. The building's infrastructure was never set up.
Right, not for
recycling.
recycling. Right. So
No,
that then if you had
exactly.
one for paper, then anybody, okay, cool, throw the paper in there, whatever. You know what I mean? They could just do that.
That probably is probably what's going to happen at some point.
Well,
but
eventually,
you would
but
hope
on the newer
I would
buildings.
hope
Right,
that's
but
where
you
they
can't-
would get with that versus the other way it could go.
Right, but I'm saying that you can't recycle. I mean, you can't set that up in an old building.
No, I'm
what
not
I'm saying?
saying that. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
okay.
I'm just saying. Yeah, absolutely. I would build a new facility, right? Just level it and start from scratch.
Yeah, right.
And does it make it the way it should be? Don't try to fix it, something else. Just
Oh, yeah, true
start
enough.
right from the beginning.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, they said just to see all the different things that they could do. Bums for ages. They take the paper, the newspapers, and that was their installation during the wintertime.
I can't.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But again,
Yeah,
they
right.
recycle the paper. See,
There you go.
Just
That's
saying.
true.
Just saying.
You know what my problem is though with recycling though is that when they invented recycling, the companies put it on the consumer, and it's not you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, oh, we're going to use plastic. You guys got to recycle it, instead of the company saying, we're going to try to make it out of biodegradable material that's not bad for the environment, that you don't need to recycle it. It's just biodegradable. You know what I mean? It can be composted,
Right.
something like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, no. Well, again,
I mean, I think that is better than recycling if they could make things out of compostable material.
I agree with you, but it would still be recycling.
Yeah. The only problem is
it would be natural.
Is it would have an expiration date though, because if it's a bioplastic, like it would go bad eventually. It would break down.
Right.
So that would be the only problem. Like those.
But
like
they say the ones that they've been
straws?
making have been lasting much longer than usual. They would say, "Hey, listen, you got to use this by whatever."
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. But I think, this would, if it would be holding a liquid, is what I'm saying. So it would have to be like. That's the only problem. I don't know if they can make it a liquid containing for.
But then
I know they make those paper.
Right.
You ever see the
straws.
paper?
They got the straws now.
No. I'm talking about the box, the box of water. You ever see it?
No.
boxes of water.
Oh
now?
yeah.
I haven't seen a box of water.
There's a company that makes. Remember how they used to make cartons of milk? You
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
I
or
remember,
like
of course.
Yoo-hoo or whatever, or Yoo-hoo. Well, there's a
Chocolate
company that
milk,
makes
man.
water
No
in
shit.
that sells
So we
water
got
in
chocolate
that.
milk
And
all
it's
the time.
supposed to be more environmental friendly, but I don't think it could be recyclable because it's got the wax in it.
I don't know. I think it still can because I think
Yeah?
it's more paper than it is wax. So that's
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Because think of it, it's not that thick. It's a layer of wax for sure, but you can't really. I mean, it's there, but you got more paper than you do with that. I think it would break it down.
Unless it's compostable, like wax could be compostable. I
Absolutely.
think wax is a natural thing. It
I was just going to say,
compost.
can't wax be broken down? Even though
Yeah. I just think it would have to be mixed with probably other things in the compost. I didn't get more technical because it would just have to be like a big lump of wax.
When I worked at I worked at an ashram. I won't say the name of it, but I did work at one. They recycled everything.
Oh,
seriously, they did. They have their own compost yard, and there was a lot of it. And then there was someone there who just kept stirring it and moving it, and there was
probably
a lot of it.
Steaming all the time.
Yeah,
right.
Super hot.
That's a good compost.
Yeah, it's a good
compost.
Yeah, and we used it for every plant bed. Whatever we were planting. This guy, Craig, that I work with, really nice guy. He was into it. Definitely into his yogi self. What he was trying to figure out in his life. Hopefully, he did. That was a pretty cool time to do that. And work at the ashram because it was nice to see how they thought about things and did things. Not the religious part. I'm just talking about just like the
the way of life.
Food goes here,
that,
this goes here, and they do it. It's very simple, no complication.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what's wrong with that?
So, no, nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. Yeah, I'm with you.
But you see, some of the companies do stuff now. Some companies will have. I think, what did I say? Like maybe Chipotle or something like that. I don't know.
For what?
There
the
was
bowl?
like a.
They got the bowl.
No, they got the 3 garbages. Maybe that wasn't
Oh,
Chipotle. I haven't been Chipotle. In a long time.
Chipotle has it.
But
where was that the other day that has it? Adams, the grocery store has it over here.
They'll have like 3 garbage bins. One's like recycling, compostable.
Yep.
And then they won't put the word garbage though.
Right.
Guilt you right. Landfill.
Yeah.
It says it'll say plastic. It'll say like recycling, like plastic and glass.
Right.
And it'll say like compost, and then it just says landfill.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they do that. And the subways they have that too. They have the 3
okay, so it's
and
a
the
couple
Metro
places
North and stuff like that. They have the different
see it more in cities
things.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. But so I was trying to figure out, thinking in my own head, because I'm a genius in my by my own.
Yeah.
So
it's all right.
what the process was for recycling, like how much chemical they put into the plastic when they're breaking it down. And according to what I just looked up on this genius called Google,
Whoa,
yeah, Google, it doesn't sound like there's anything added to the plastic to break it down. It's just like melting it. So then the thing you burn it. So now you got to filter the air.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I'm sure.
So they have to use some type of filter.
Right. So that then they got to use filter on top of filter, and that's where the money comes in. You know why it's worth. Worth doing that?
Then what do you do with the filters?
Because then you have to break the filters down and clean the filters. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
can you do it in a way where if you broke them down to the end, you can reuse them again in a new
the filters?
to make new filters.
Oh, I'm sure, because
Right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So, like, for
if
me-
they could figure out a way to do that,
Right.
and say, all right, we're not going to waste it. We're going to take it, and it's going to be part of what we make the new one out of.
Right.
Right.
So the plastics I use on my
But
machine.
I don't know if they can do that.
Well, the filters I use on my machine, they are plastic. You know what I mean? And the HEPA filters and stuff like that, they're just super thin pieces of plastic. So I'm going to guess, because I didn't look it up yet, that, I'm sure they could recycle it, clean it up and whatnot.
Well, it's usually in
Power wash
cardboard
it.
too.
Yeah. And then just, power wash it or whatever, get most of it out.
Right.
Through the process. Same thing with
Oh,
glass.
is it a heavy duty one?
Yeah. The filters I have. Yeah, they are.
It's the one that you need to clean and put back.
Yeah, okay. I can do it. I'm really not supposed to, because if we hit it with the air, if we hit it with the
Are they made of
pressure gun, it
paper
messes it up.
too, or is it plastic?
There are some
depends
that
on
are
what you're using the
depends
filter.
on what it is.
So what
Yeah.
because we use it for talcum powder.
Yeah.
So that then the talcum powder, because it's so fine, it goes through everything else.
Right.
So I literally have 2, 4, 6. I have about 10 filters.
Wow.
After all is said and done. So when from when we're using the talcum powder to it cleaning the air in the warehouse, there's about 10 filters.
Holy shit.
It doesn't matter, because we still get the talcum powder in the air. And it's not that it's not where anybody's going to be
Think of
sick
it
or whatever.
if you didn't have it.
Oh yeah, no, it's ugly. When I didn't turn the machine on, when I turned the filters on, I was like, trying to hit the button and whatnot, But it's just again, everything we use is plastic. We have to find a way that's going to be better for all of us. That if we're going to recycle,
and it doesn't mean going back and cutting trees down again.
No. I'm just saying, just
we already
as far
have
as
enough
recycling.
of another material that we need to figure out how we're going to use it.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
We got to figure out how can we use this stuff
is a better
to our
material,
benefit.
That's the thing too. Bamboo is a good reusable.
They say bamboo is amazing,
Right.
For most anything.
It grows so fast, and it grows
anywhere.
I know. I love bamboo.
And it can grow anywhere.
Right there.
Yeah.
But now, so now here's the question though.
Like a weed.
like a weed.
But all right, so now bamboo, right? So we're talking.
So fucking terrible.
You guys are sick, right? Fucking hanging out with you guys. No, so you're looking at bamboo, and we're looking at hemp. Both of these
Hemp
plants,
is fantastic.
both of these plants can be used for clothes. They can be
Paper.
used for paper.
They've been making
It can
rope out of hemp forever.
Yeah,
everything.
It's almost not almost. It's as strong as steel when it's woven the right way and such.
Right.
So that then, how do you recycle that? What would be the shelf life on that? You know what I
It
mean?
would last a very long time.
What? Like
I'm
what?
sure.
What kind of?
So I'm saying,
material?
say
What,
with
the,
clothes.
like hemp and stuff like that.
Yeah, with the hemp
it breaks
and
down.
the,
I'm sure
it will.
You just.
But like
the
anything
great
else,
thing
think of what you did. You just made something out of something that was sitting in an ocean somewhere.
So here's the thing.
And you took it out of that, and you said, "Hey, I was able to wear this shirt because of whatever they
the
took
thing
out of
is
that."
too like when you have the clothes, it doesn't break down because you wash it, it's dry. But like if it were to be shredded and put in a compost heap, it's wet, it's warm, it starts breaking down.
Right.
So like, you know what I mean? It won't take extra for it to break because it's made out of like a
Right, the
organic
material. Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
So but the only reason it doesn't do that when you have it is because it's dry.
It's just amazing
Yeah.
how they can. That's what I'm saying.
Because when they compost things, they do shred them because the problem is if things are too big, then they won't break down. They need to be shredded, and then once everything's in the compost, everything starts getting wet and like and that actually helps break it down better. Yeah.
Let me read something to you. Environmental protections. Recycling drastically reduces the need for mining, quarrying, or logging, which any of other environmental destructive activities. By this reusing materials, we decrease the destruction of habitats and preserve biodiversity.
Right.
Excuse me, I apologize.
I'm really sorry for it. Because you can't see.
I'm blind as a freaking bat.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
I will.
No, but that's again, no matter what we do, how we do, there's some way that somebody's going to find that it's not enough. If that makes any sense.
It's just a matter of just keep plugging away.
It's okay though if it's not enough because you know what I say the
you stop,
the person
then you got
who
nobody
thinks
else to blame but
the
yourself.
person who thinks it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
What What do you mean? Like not like we're not doing good enough,
all right?
right?
So like, look, here we go. So we have electric cars.
Yeah,
People, their biggest argument with electric cars and not to get away from the combustion engine is because what it takes to make the batteries, what it takes to charge the battery, what it takes to you still using all these other things that you said were bad in the combustion engine.
They're doing it on the power grid,
and so that then now how do you make up for it?
Well, we gotta keep
just to
improving.
Make it right,
just keep improving.
Just to make the batteries.
Yeah,
we're not even talking about how to charge them, because to charge them is easy. You turn around, you put up a windmill, you put up a solar panel. That's how you charge it. But the process to make the batteries,
energy. Yeah.
But the process to make the battery, that's where
they mine it from different countries.
Right, but eventually,
I think they're going to mine out of it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right. So then it's a matter of
figure out a way to use the crap that you made from it.
Yeah, that's the
you follow. Find out from the crap that you used to make it to pollute the freaking planet, and say, you know what? I'm going to take it. I'm going to reuse it now for the benefit of the planet.
Right.
To make it better.
I never read why, but lithium isn't reusable. But
right,
and the fires from them are ridiculous.
Right,
I think it might have something to do with that. Maybe I don't know.
But so, like I just said,
can't hold a charge.
So then, now what's better? Is it better to just turn around and stay doing listen to how I'm saying this? Not so much just about all the plastic stuff, but just about a bunch of the other things. So is it better to just turn around and stay using 3/4 of the shit that we're using?
It's just going to get better,
to recycle what? Because there's so many things that we're mining, that we're using, that can't be recycled.
I think they already know. I think they already are aware of the fact that they're going to run out of it. And they're already on the lookout to figure out how it's going to happen.
Listen, that's the problem. We're going to run out of oil eventually. So okay, we will use lithium batteries. We're going to run out of fucking lithium batteries at some point.
Right.
And then what the fuck are we going to do?
It's called leg power. You got to pedal your ass.
Let's figure out a way to be smart and do the right. I mean, I don't know what that is, but there's got to be. If you could do all this other stuff, why can't you do that?
Yeah.
And that's what Tom said before, because now it's money.
That's why we need aliens, because they
really?
Ocean technology.
Wow.
That's the next show, bro.
What's his name?
That's the next episode.
The fucking guy, the famous guy who said he worked at Area 51. I can't think of his name. The guy with the
I can't remember. Yeah.
It looks like from his Revenge of the Nerds. But anyway,
he does. Yeah.
He said there was two things and they put them next to each other. And the two rods or something. Remember, we made it sexual into a joke. Put them next to each other, and it powered up. But when they were separated, it wasn't powered, and it powered. What the fuck is that?
Right.
And can we replicate that?
Right.
And then,
but it's like magnets.
And it's forever energy. It never runs out.
Right. And
but
they
got
works
these
like magnets.
UFOs. They say that they dug up from thousands of years ago, and they still power up.
Oh yeah, no, it's more than magnets, but it works the same as what
right. I'm saying, but listen, they're figuring out a lot of ways now.
But I'm saying
certain things are. Like
we need,
they can get things to hover now and stay in place and move side to side. They're working with some crazy
power
shit
grid
now.
Is I think
let's just make sure we go in the right direction. They're not in the wrong one.
I think we're jumping into cars quicker than we should, and we should be focusing more on the power grid and then the cars. Because, like I said,
I agree.
Because the power grid is where
it needs to be updated.
Yeah, well,
it's totally
But I'm saying, most is combustible energy. Most is the coal.
Why do we still have wires on the top of the road?
Oh, I know. You know what?
Why are we doing that?
It's funny.
Why can't they go underground?
My town has their own electric company, Butler Electric, right? And they have a little Facebook page. It's funny. And I remember every time there's some kind of underground wire problem and they show what a disaster it is, they're like, this is why
we don't do it underground.
Yeah. Right. Because when there's flooding or one goes bad, they got to dig the whole fucking road up.
But it's the same thing with water. You still got to dig up a whole pipe. I
think if you
it's the same goddamn thing.
If you build a proper infrastructure for underground wiring, it works out. But where you have like what people think of sewers, like areas you can walk underground and repair the lines. And where,
well, that's what in New York City, that's what it looks like on the ground.
That's
what the manhole covers do.
But in suburban neighborhoods, it's
not so much.
Yeah, it's too hard. You know what's cool? What they did though, if you ever, I don't know if you're ever going to be in South Orange but that town is I don't know if that's the town that Thomas Edison lived in. So I don't know if that they designed it, the power grid differently in that town because it was an earlier power grid, but the utility poles go behind the houses, in between the houses.
You and I talked about this once before.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Instead of it being on the road, it goes, it goes in between the homes, in the backyards.
Okay.
So it's not an obstruction.
It's not an obstruction. It's not an eyesore, but it's an eyesore when you go in your backyard.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a pole. Who gives a shit?
Well, but then even still, because Tesla's thing was that there was no wires.
But there's like,
Tesla, his whole thing was that there was no wires.
Yeah, no,
Everybody was
those
like
two
an
battled
antenna.
all the time.
I watched a video and they say, while the Tesla coil did work, they said like for the infrastructure we have now, it would never work.
Well, but again, it never took off because they shut them down. I'm sure that now, 100 years later, that it probably would have been something worthwhile.
We definitely need to go to the next level, but it has to be safe. It can't be something that could just.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we don't want to have a power plant. Have a nuclear plant in our basements and shit, and having to keep the nuclear coils in the basement to power the house. Or heat it up, and
or just an energy you can tap into.
Right, but was it in Greenland? They live off of thermal energy.
Yeah, so you can build houses like that here in the United States.
But again,
but not thermal, but they get the air conditioning and heat from under the ground.
There you go. So that then
there's cool air coming from that, bro.
But people don't want to pay for that. Listen, there is
I get it. There's a lot of different things you can do.
The one of the first light bulbs has been burning in a firehouse in New York City for like the last.
I think we talked about
we talked about it before.
Yeah, so because it was made
right. So that then there's a way to make these things where we don't have to keep we wouldn't have as much recycling.
Capitalism,
right? So that then
we wouldn't have so they're disposable instead of permanent,
right? But
if they don't think about the planet and then all that shit, you got to throw it out,
and there should be laws against that where they should make things purposely disposable.
Right.
That's
my thing. It
should say all light bulbs have to be made permanent. If they go out, that's because it's effective or something like that.
Right. Like, send it back to where you got it from or bring it back to where you got it from and get a new one.
They should be permanent.
But it's going to be now
but we won't be around for that. Thing. You and I.
Well, and they're not going to do that, bro.
Super old.
They're not going to do anything like that.
But LED is getting there because now they sell the whole fucking light fixture. But is that creating waste too? The whole light fixture is like you can't replace
the whole
bulb.
idea is to do less, right?
You buy
is
the
to
whole
get
light
more
fixture
out of
and
less.
LED bulb in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? Do
get more out of less?
And that's what
more.
But that's what we're saying should be with the recycling.
That's why there are people who are it's almost treated like veganism in a way where it's like a way of life. But there's people who take on actually Suzanne talked about this on her episode. Minimalism,
right.
And they say if people practice more minimalism,
right,
that will naturally get away from that because companies just kind of go where the consumer wants, and it's kind of like that. But more people have to take on minimalism and not buy extra in excess, which is we all have our hobbies and stuff. Like that. People who are minimalist, like I don't mean to go ahead. Quick, there was there used to be they kind of retired as like that vegan couple. They were like a YouTube channel, but they retired their social media. But anyway, they like always talking about minimalism, and they have like 4 shirts. That's all they have. Like 4 shirts and like 4 pairs of pants.
Can you have that many sneakers, Kenny?
Because they're like, we're minimalists. You know what I mean? Like they took it. So I mean, they had a podcast too. I listened to their podcast for a while too, and they said they knew like they took their minimalism to like a serious level when they
we should do one on that.
They didn't want the wedding rings anymore, and they got rid of their wedding rings.
Oh yeah, that won't go over too well in my house.
Yeah,
we don't need some kind of thing on our finger to say that we are.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Getting a tattoo, motherfucker, like on your forehead."
Right. Have the
shit
on your back.
The ring tattooed on them.
Yeah, and that wouldn't work. But so I was gonna say, like you said it, faggot. You took away my shit. But the sneakers, I'm a little bit of a sneakerhead. So that then Nike, they have I just lost the word. They recycle materials to make sneakers. So you can get a pair of Uptown Air Force Ones, whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to me, I'm just saying, like, so that then I wouldn't have to live with just fucking 4 pairs of sneakers.
That's great, though, that they can do that, though.
Yeah.
But that's, and the better thing is probably that hopefully they're able to recycle those again if necessary to make new ones.
Yeah. And I said most of my sneakers are the
they do that with tires,
material. I don't have too many. I don't even think I have any, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Any leather sneakers. I don't even have a pair of Air Force Ones. Uptowns. I have all of mine are material
Leather
except
sneakers,
for
man.
yeah.
I hadn't had
and
pair of
the
leather
Converse.
sneakers.
The Converse are canvas. These are
Chuck
suede. Though.
Taylors.
These are suede ones though. These are suede. But anyways, yeah. So even for sneakers, you know
like
what I mean?
Pro Kids, man. I was a big Pro Kids man.
Yeah, I got a pair of those too. But
I got Converse too, though.
right,
I like
but they're
them.
canvas.
Yeah,
You know, so
I know.
then it's not the leather. So
But
we're
think
not,
of that. They
you know,
probably
Yeah,
can
so then
recycle
that's,
stuff and make those sneakers.
Listen, bro. I
I don't know if they
got
do
them.
or not, but that would be cool. I'm
Well,
gonna
Nike
take a
does.
pretty good
I
guess.
said
Possibly
Nike
they
and that's
do.
the
but
thing. You know, cotton is a renewable
Mhm.
material. It's a
Yeah.
plant.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
It's we've been using it for I don't even know how long. You know, years and years and years. It's
Yep.
good material. Most of our clothes are made out
Yeah.
of
Right.
it. I mean, jeans are like the testament of how durable cotton is. You know, because think about jeans. Jeans are always considered like work pants.
Right.
Right.
So that then now we talk
Denim,
about
you know,
recycling.
denim. I mean,
But now you talk about the recycling. How many of us really either take the clothes to the thrift stores or to any place that or whatever clothing company so that then they could recycle our clothes?
yeah.
You know, maybe that's something we can need to.
Most
That's
people
another something we got to
usually
look
bring-
into.
I know most people do thrift stores. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But like,
my youngest does that shit. She's
Yeah.
like, look what I got. I'm like, oh, that's the shit we had in 1970. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
She's like, oh, it's so cute. I'm like,
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, no. I'm just
Okay.
saying that, you know, the things that we can
Alrighty.
do, should do towards the recycling. It
It's
has
happening,
to involve
man.
everything. It has to literally be everything. It can't just be
Well,
just
it's
the
got to be the
plastics.
majority. I'm saying the majority of the planet's got to be involved in doing it,
Right. Everybody's, but and we all want to have to do it,
right?
or just want to do it.
At
We
least
just all
3/4.
some of it, because there's just too much shit all over the place. You know,
Right.
everywhere you go. I remember in the 70s in the 5 boroughs all over New York City, there was garbage everywhere. They cleaned it all up. Looks so nice and pretty. So obviously there's the means. There's a way for
Right.
people to be able to.
They did it.
You know,
too.
for
There
the
was
traffic.
clean times growing up there too, though. I mean, I know what you're saying, but there were also times where they were doing the streets and doing the way they.
Oh yeah, no, they were. I'm just saying,
But
like, you know,
Manhattan
just-
especially was
right.
bad.
That's what I'm saying. So that then
Manhattan
now,
was always had garbage on the sidewalk wherever you went.
Yep, and there's the
It's
human
gotten
race
better,
has the means to do
Oh,
it.
now it's different. you
now
know,
Yeah,
it's
well,
different.
right. It's super different. But
You
the
would hope
human-
so anyway.
We have our some of the people in our infrastructure, companies, agencies,
Like a
in our,
Spare in New York,
they can do it. They can
Right.
actually make this shit happen. They can recycle things, you know, but nobody's pushing for them to do it all of the time.
Right.
You know, people are only going for the big things. So they'll stop. Oh no, we got to close down the nuclear power plant. You know, oh no, you know, we got to pick up these plastics over here. But nobody's going for the big things that is going to matter.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I applaud, you know, we'll say like Elon Musk. He's sending stuff out into space. He does all these things. But what about to help recycle things, help get that ball rolling? You know, what's his name? Amazon, Bezos. Bezos does a lot of things too, you know, towards, you know, to help out the communities and things like that. Not everything. I'm not like, you know, co-signing his crazy either, but I'm just, you know, that's something that they need to start pushing towards, because we are, bro. This fucking world is going downhill. You know, I'm not saying not anything
It's
else.
just
gotta be
running
cool.
at us.
It's just
but
gotta be
it's
better.
not
There's
that
nothing
we're
that-
not-
They just gotta
we're
be
not-
better
we're not
people.
evil.
Yeah, well,
They got to be better people.
you know, we don't have the same things that we used to. You know,
The thing is,
we can't
need
build
to-
out.
We just need more renewable resources.
Right. And
That's
I'm
the
sure the problem
That's
is
the
that
crazy thing.
it's
It's
getting
like,
everybody
let's
to
just use
convert over
something
to
that
it. It's
there's
got to be
always
done
some- yeah.
slowly, I'm sure. It's got to be eased into. And then,
Yeah.
like, you know, and then once everybody gets the rhythm, and it'll just take off and do its thing. I'm sure it would need to be like that. Otherwise, if you try to shove it down someone's throat, it's not going to really work the way you want it to.
So now would you consider this being shoved down somebody people's throats?
Just
Because
right
we've been
away
doing it
off
for
the bat,
longest?
it's going to be this, and you got to adapt like the next. You know, you have till this time, and then when it's going to happen, boom, kind of thing.
But we've been doing it for years. You already said
now-
that we've been doing it since the 70s, recycling, and it still hasn't taken off
Well,
to
I
where it
wouldn't
should be
say
for now.
I'm sure we were recycling more glass and paper back than we were than plastic. I think 80s, 90s was more plastic, honestly.
But again, still,
But I can
the
remember.
whole idea of recycling, Earth Day, all this stuff has been for the longest, and nobody, it's only like for that one day or for that week that's like, oh, Earth Day, recycle everything. Nobody's doing it consistently because, whatever agencies in all of our towns,
I don't know.
It's just not, I don't even believe that they're actually taking it and recycling it, for most of the shit.
Well, that's my problem too. It's like,
well, there is a real problem. Is not everything is recycled.
Right, exactly. So
There's
even all the plastics we throw out,
yeah.
a lot of that plastic we throw out isn't recyclable, and it goes nowhere. Right,
well, the stuff you put in recycling is what you mean. The stuff you throw out in recycling.
Right.
That's what I mean. When you say throw out,
you're thinking, oh yeah. So I always get aggravated when I recycle my stuff, but the plastics only because I know tin cans. Any cans or anything like that, paper, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I know glass, that kind of stuff is going to be recyclable, easier than the plastic, and that's the problem. They need to figure that out. Plastic is a main problem.
You know what the problem I heard? Glass. The biggest problem with glass is
it cuts you.
No, well, of course.
Just saying.
Cut you. Anyway, no. Is that it takes a lot of energy to heat it up. So to reuse it, glass is renewable, but it requires a lot of energy to heat up to reuse because most now if they could do more of like reusing the bottles for like where they goes to a bottle cleaning center. That's the best way to recycle bottles is to have glass bottles that and if they break then they get sent out to be recycled into more glass again. But
you can also get those plastic bottles that are what is it, EPA free and all that. We have them here. I have them in my house. That's for to drink water out of.
Oh no, but I was thinking like companies like go back to glass, like say like one of the soda companies like Coke or whatever, right? They go and they say, all right, we're going to start this new program at the grocery stores. You bring back your Coke bottles, but intact. They got to be intact, and they go in and then they get sent back to Coke or into a bottle cleaning center, and then they reuse them again, and then they just
Yeah, like the milkman coming and take the bottles again.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Same thing. The only difference is
I remember that.
The only thing that you would recycle is the caps.
The caps, right. So now you can recycle plastic 8 to 10 times. That's it. After that, then it's just there. Right.
Yeah, but there's certain plastic you can't even do anything with. Like you can't even mix, like you can't.
Well, that's why there's a number on them. On plastics, there's a number, a recycling symbol, say 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. The majority of the shit we have doesn't get recycled.
I wonder if that's like when you
that's
said,
what I'm talking about.
Recycled. How many times did you say?
Was it
how many times?
8?
So
10 times.
maybe 1 is the last time, and then it starts.
Oh,
at 8
yeah.
And then 7, 6.
Well, but then it's
the grade of plastic. I think each time the grade of plastics only for certain uses.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So then now, how many times when you recycle it, that 8 or 10 times, what do you do with it after?
Well, we talked about the clothes and stuff like that. If we do more of that.
Well, right. If we do more of that, then it'd probably be more than that. And then tin, like aluminum and stuff like that, unlimited.
Right.
And I don't think plastics are necessarily evil. It's just the single use shit.
There was no thought in the process of
stuff that's
we
permanent.
can invent this great material.
Like we have plastic as on the base of this lamp, even though it's a metal lamp. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's or like the sign here, the on air sign, like it's made of acrylic, like plastic,
right?
Like that's a permanent plastic. But it's like a fork or a knife. It's going to get one use. A straw is going to get one use.
Right.
And
that kind of stuff
thousands
should be,
of years to fucking break down.
Those things should be biodegradable.
For something you use for 10 seconds, it's crazy.
The utensils should be biodegradable because they are more frequently.
Now there's been a lot of them. We buy them. I get the biodegradable ones. They're great.
Yeah.
And they're, except you can't compost them at home. That's another, I tried.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be a commercial compost. I think we talked about this before too. It needs to be in a commercial compost because they're hot and they're like we talked about the ashram, how they that you can probably put those spoons and forks in, they'll compost because it's hot. It's but like at home, like you need to be like,
right. I got you.
It needs to be like big and a lot of stuff's got to be added in all the time.
Well, hopefully they get better at them when it doesn't need to be where it breaks down a little bit easier and lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
For anybody who's watching,
commercial compost, they're good. Yeah.
No, so I'm saying, so anybody listening, watching, you go to the EPA.gov and they'll tell you everything you need to know about the recycling, any other questions like that. That's why I was getting some of my other info just now. You know, and just everybody try to do the right thing. You know, I know I say that all the time. I'd be lying to you if I sat here and I'm like, oh my God, I do this and I'm that tree hugger or whatever you want to call it. Not a vegan. Don't be
like those people in Florida that were caught on camera leaving. They were at a boat party or something, and they were driving away and they were dumping their garbage off the side of the boat.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not like that either. I kind of
I'm not saying not you being like that. I'm saying people in general should don't be like that.
Just try to be a good person. You know what I'm saying? Be a good human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and of course.
Live life to the fullest. Think of thy neighbor.
Really,
your brethren. What, bro?
Okay.
Well, I want to thank you guys for listening. Appreciate every single one of you guys that listening, keep up with us. We're gonna start trying to do this video thing too for
we'll see how it works
for YouTube. We'll see how this works.
This is our first time. So.
You know what? Because this is groovy. So hopefully this first video,
hopefully it makes it up on YouTube.
Yeah, they won't kick us off.
That's why. Well, I guess if it's it was the first time. We'll see how the video.
See how it goes. Yeah,
we might not.
So thank y'all for listening. Everybody be safe out there. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And go vegan.
Hello.